Okay, so Harsika, you will start with your introduction.
Okay, sir. So my name is Harshika and I'm from New Delhi. I did my schooling from New Delhi itself from Frank Anthony Public School. Thereafter, I went for my graduation from Kamla Nehru College. After my graduation, I prepared for competitive exam. Thereafter, I got an opportunity to intern with PwC, and then I got another opportunity for a full-time role with NLB Services. If I talk about my strength, then I'm a very collaborative person and I love to work with teams. And if I talk about one of my weaknesses, then I stumble sometimes because of time management, but I'm still working on it by, putting
Okay, tell me
timetables and
what was your
reminders.
role? What was your role in PwC?
Okay, so in PwC, my role was often HR recruiter. Over there, I used to hire people on the basis of skill, and sometimes I used to write descriptions like the job requirement role, and I used to make the description according to the requirement of the position.
And you had similar profile in NLB services.
Yes, yes. There was also I was working as an HR recruiter itself, where I used to hire people according to the job roles.
Okay, so why did you not pursue MBA HR ahead?
Okay, so as I said, I was also preparing for the competitive exams. So while I was, while I was preparing, I came to know about several issues and everything. Like I was already involved in like social sector in some way or the other, because in the college also, I've participated in several drives. There were NGOs, and we used to go to these rural places in Delhi where we used to distribute books, and sometimes we used to distribute like basically clothes, like basically used to collect the clothes from the people, and then we used to distribute to them. So like a certain type of interest was there meanwhile back then also, and but I was not very sure about the opportunities or about the roles that we can perform while doing these tasks as well. So as I researched and I was preparing for competitive exams, I came to know about various opportunities in the sector of social work, and how you can be a professional and also work on these issues. Like me being from a metropolitan city, I have seen inequalities all around. Like one side there is a person who is begging for food, and another side there's a
So
person who is
your
looking
understanding
for food.
was for social work. Then why did you apply for development studies?
So because
This is not social work course.
yes, so because I feel development studies is a very vast, like it's a very and multidisciplinary course. So in a development studies, I'll get an overview or a very broad view of all the areas. Like if I talk about environment, in development studies, I would be studying about environment. I would be studying about inequalities. I would be studying about social justice. I would be studying about the challenges in the development due to the geographical location. So I feel development studies like social work is related to development studies, because you can only perform in the social work if you know what are the challenges. So that and the challenges that too from entire area, because I think every challenge is related to another challenge. Like if I talk about climate issues, like climate issue can also lead to the can also lead to the problem of price rise, because if the nowadays we can see that they are very irregular rains, so because of that there is a lot of crop damage.
So
So
how come
so the
knowing
crop
this will
damage.
help you in social work? Because social work is very area specific or group
Okay.
specific or community specific. Like you
Okay.
go to a community and ask
Yes.
their problem, you try to
Yes.
intervene their problem. So how
Yes.
come the knowledge of climate, the knowledge of environment, the knowledge of relation of economy and politics
Uh,
will help you in that?
so I believe that I can only, or anyone can only work on social work until and unless they know the key challenges that that particular community is facing.
So
And
that challenges will maybe very local or very place specific. It might not be region specific or related to environment or climate always. No,
yes, but yes.
because you must have seen there are some area there where they don't have health awareness, or
Yes.
the society is like suffering with casteism and other
Yes.
similar
Yes.
social issues. So you have to work for those issues.
Yes.
So to do that, how come development studies is going to help you?
So because it will tell us about the challenges and the root cause that the particular society is facing because of those issues. Like, because if any society is facing for casteism, there will definitely be some root cause behind it. They can't be like, they're suddenly facing this
So
problem.
that root cause may be very specific to, or very much that must be coming from traditions or cultural aspect of society.
Yes,
So,
sir.
but the DS is the DS involved the study of everything, like you said, it's a
Yes, sir.
multidisciplinary course. So you might not go in that deep there, and even if you know the root cause, the social work part will be still social work part. You are
Yes,
not
sir.
going to eradicate it by going to the root cause, because you cannot
Okay.
go in past and work for the root cause. Ultimately,
Okay.
you have to do it through social work only.
Okay, so but so we can through this we can know now like how these things impact the development in the society, and that's how we can work on these areas so to improve the economic condition or the inequality condition of the country.
Okay. So, did you study budget this year?
Yes, bit
So,
of.
can you tell me what was the key component of budget
Okay, so
this year
key
in
components
2023?
of budget. Okay, so there was like firstly tax, like the rate of tax has been different. Like it was earlier, it was something else, and now we have made us, like segregation in the amount of tax or the percentage of tax of who will be paying the tax and who will not be paying the tax on the basis of that. And another thing is like in this budget, I think a lot of schemes have come up related to environment in mind. And one of the scheme I remember is life scheme that was launched by our prime minister. And and what else? And there were too much emphasis on the infrastructure, on how to improve the infrastructure of the country. And I think that's it. And yes, and it was also about G20, that this year we got the presidency of G20. So how we can, help the underdeveloped countries and how we can make a contribution through like the G20.
Okay. So where is the G20 meeting is being held or going to be held?
Okay, so G20 is basically like going to be held in India, and like in 2020, because we are the presidency. So that G20 will be holding in various cities. Like it will also be happening in Delhi and in Udaipur, I guess. And I know few cities more, I guess, in Gujarat. I'm not sure about the cities.
So
Like
what is
it.
the significance of this presidency? Like, how do you
Okay,
see that?
so like G20 can be a very beneficial thing for us, because it can act as a economic booster for us, because G20 is basically happens in which 20 countries, in which it involves developing countries as well as developed countries, in which they basically discuss about the economic issues and social issues that will impact the whole world. Like so in that case, India can basically like gain experience from those other countries, can basically can help them to tell us about our basically problem that we are facing, and the other countries can help us with technology. India can be at that platform. It can share their views on various issues, and it can also bring foreign investment through other by basically reducing the trade
Okay, so how
barriers.
many courses did you apply here in
So
TISS?
I applied for 3 courses, and
Name them.
first was HRM, and second was analytics, and the third one was development studies.
So what was the reason behind these choices? Because you want to go for social
Okay.
work,
So
and but
so
you
for
applied your HR and analytics courses first.
Yes, sir. So for HR, I applied because I already had an experience in HR, and I'm from a commerce background, so I thought that is something which will come easily to me, in the sense like I already have an experience in that and have a career, so that's why I choose first option as an HR. And the second option, analytics, I choose because I feel like as we are moving towards data, and the data has been given the more emphasis. So I thought that doing an analytics will open doors for many opportunities for me, be it in maybe I can work in government, organization in public or any private or any organization. Like data will be something which will be demanded in future, and I think analytics is something which will help to solve majority of problems. So that's why I choose analytics, and third I followed by development studies.
Okay, चलो, thank you.
Okay.
इसमें मतलब like you have to work more about पहले तो ये बोलने की जरूरत क्या है कि तुम सोशल वर्क करना चाहते हो. Just tell that you want to be in development sector or social sector, and where you can help organizations or government for good research from development studies. ये development studies के graduates का main काम होता है कि they keep on exploring different connections among the variables of development or which are relevant to development, and they also find out new and new challenges. They try to find new opportunities, and then they tell it to government and NGOs and companies that see, this is there, you can work for this, or you can do it by yourself also.
Okay.
तो बेवजह तुमने वो सोशल वर्क में इसको लेके चले गए, which is very different discipline. वो स्कूल ऑफ सोशल वर्क है, उसके 8 अलग डिसिप्लिन्स हैं, उसकी अलग एक्सपर्टीज है, वो बहुत लोकल लेवल पे काम होता है. तो तुम्हारा एक तो वहां नंबर कटा. जनरल अवेयरनेस में बजट तुमको जरूर पढ़ लेना चाहिए, बिकॉज बजट और जो भी तुम बता रहे हो वो कुछ तो नंबर मिलेगा ही, बट and see the way you are trying to pitch कि development studies is actually going to help you in social work, वो तुम्हारी वो analytical ability वाले numbers भी काटेंगे, क्योंकि you are trying to force it.
Okay.
You would have just said कि मतलब I will read this but I'll do this.
Okay.
है ना, it's not like कि अब climate change जानेंगे, क्यों जानेंगे, मतलब ठीक है, सोशल वर्क के लिए उनको काम करना जरूरी है. The main skill that a social worker should have is communication to the society. Like how they are communicating, there is a methodological way to assess their problem and work for their problem and reporting them. These are the skills that they need. तो उसकी different training है. और sincerity तो मतलब the subject choice in itself suggests that you are not very sincere for development studies.
Okay.
You are coming down from HR to analytics, then to development studies, but we can devise some other answer for it, so that you can make it more logical choice. वो हम बात कर लेंगे. I will talk to you. तो फिलहाल तो मतलब the interview was not very good. अब मैं अगर तुम्हें मार्क्स दूं तो 75 minus 12 कर दो पहले, 62 65 maximum, not more than that out of.
Okay.
ठीक
है. और बजट में मतलब कोई स्पेसिफिकली चीजें पढ़नी है या
नहीं, तुम एक बार पढ़ो ना, तुम अपने मतलब की चीज तुमको याद रह जाएगी.
ठीक है.
rather than going through newspapers ना और news articles, try to read it by yourself जहाँ डिटेल में दिया हुआ है. हम क्या करते हैं ना, हम रिकॉल पे बात करते हैं, तो रिकॉल पे वही चीजें तुम्हारे सामने आती है जो बहुत फेमस फैक्ट अबाउट द बजट है. तो वो तो सब जानते हो, तो छोटा बच्चा भी बताएगा, क्योंकि ही इज आल्सो लिसनिंग न्यूज और व्हाट्सएप मैसेजेस से भी लोग यही देख लेते हैं. व्हेन यू विल रीड इट, you will come with those points which are not very famous but still very important, because that is close to your heart. Okay. Yeah, close to your जो भी तुम्हारी नॉलेज है या पेरिफेरी है. ठीक है. तो ये हुआ. नेक्स्ट टाइम थोड़ा इसको बेटर किया जाएगा. और ask me about how to defend your choices and of course how to increase sincerity in your subject. ठीक है.
Okay sir.